Well, about the only race we can tell you for sure this morning, Utah has a new governor-elect.
And he is joining us live right now. Spencer Cox is here. Good morning. I know it's been a long night. Congratulations. And you've done a lot of interviews. We appreciate you talking to us this morning. Tell me, how does it feel? How do you feel about the race you ran? Because certainly one of the more civil races we saw.
Well, thank you, Kerri. It's honestly a little bit surreal. It's hard to believe that it's finally over. It's been a long year and a half, but we did run a different race. It was our goal from the very beginning. We promised Utahns that we would run a positive race, that we would focus on the issues, and that's exactly what we were able to do. And I so appreciate my opponent, Chris Peterson, who did the same thing, and for the friendship that we developed over the past few months.
Now, you've won so far with 63% of the vote. To what do you attribute that big lead at this point? Do you think it's the civility, or what do you think it is? I mean, you've got a lot of experience here. People certainly know you in Utah.
Well, I certainly hope it's because people do know me and the things that we've been able to accomplish as lieutenant governor over the past 7 years. I'm also the first candidate in the history of our state that's ever run a private business and served as a city councilman, a mayor, a county commissioner in the legislature and in the executive branch. And so I think it's that experience, but more importantly, the vision that we have for the future, focusing on a vision of a united Utah, focusing on education, helping our teachers in the classroom, and making sure our state returns to prosperity as we make our way through this terrible pandemic.
Yes, I'm glad you brought up education. I know your first order of business, or at least I've heard you say, is you'll continue in the fight against COVID. But education, especially some of our rural communities, those kids have been affected by COVID, and maybe they're not getting the education that they should be.
Yeah, it's been a real concern of mine even before the pandemic. In fact, it was the cornerstone of our campaign is this idea that you shouldn't get a better education in Utah based on your zip code. That the Constitution of Utah requires that we give a quality education to every kid, and too often our children, including mine in rural Utah, those that live on the west side, of the Salt Lake Valley, are not getting the same quality education. We need to fix that.
What are we going to do to fix COVID, the crisis that we've got here right now? Because I know that is on everyone's mind, perhaps even higher than education, because you can't get an education if we've got COVID for some of these students.
For sure. We had great meetings this past weekend with Dr. Burks from our federal counterparts. And there were two things that we really focused on. One is we had been begging for additional testing supplies in this state, the rapid testing. And she assured us that those testing supplies are coming, which will allow us to test more regularly, to test asymptomatic people and get them back to work and back in the classroom. The second piece that she was very bullish on are vaccines, and telling us that by the end of this month, we could have a working active vaccine, and then our plans to get that distributed very quickly as those doses come to the state of Utah will help us get back to normal more than anything else. And so there is a light coming very quickly.
Okay, before we let you go, the million-dollar question. Are you moving into the governor's mansion, or are you going to stay where you are?
Yeah, we get that question a lot. For the past 7 years, I've been driving 200 miles round trip every day, about 60,000 miles a year, over 400,000 miles as lieutenant governor. And it's not a pace that we can keep up, unfortunately. So we will be moving to Salt Lake, and we're looking forward to that. But we'll still be spending weekends every time we can back in Sanpete County.
Well, I hope you get to take a vacation between now and the move as well, because I know it's been a long haul and a busy one for you. But thanks a lot for taking the time for us this morning, fitting us into your busy day. I know you've done a lot of interviews, but certainly this is the most important one.
Thank you. Obviously.
Governor, thanks very much, and congratulations once again.
Thank you.